All right, so I'm still on a mission, a little baby mission, just to try to build a little isolated converter here. So before I start going into recommending that you start pulling stuff or buying GDTs to use in reverse and stuff, I guess to be realistic, you could also just buy a damn center tap transformer meant for push pull, right? So you could probably hit up like Coilcraft or something. I have no idea what those things are going to cost, right? I just know I could, I paid like $2 for this little guy or something like that. Maybe they're not that much. There goes a pulse transformer on this power supply, right? So, I mean, I would assume that transformer was switching a couple of switches to drive a larger transformer. All right, so I don't know the exact specs of this signal transformer, right? I'm just assuming based on the size, I'm going to be able to get more power through it than the little smaller random GDT one I found. You see the 4 pins, 2 pins over here, so I can see it's got 2 isolated windings. Again, don't know the rating. I guess the point is it wouldn't be hard to find a similar 111 GDT that you just buy for maybe $2-3 that has a certain isolation rating, 3 kV or more or something like that, right? So I'm basically just going to solder this in and make it easier to test. All right, so I'm feeding a 1 volt peak to peak sine wave at 10 kilohertz into the primary here through just like 100 ohms or something like that, and I've got this scope right here hooked up to one of the outputs. So let's see, at 10 kilohertz here on this secondary side, the intended secondary side, I'm getting about 160 millivolts peak to peak. And then the voltage, the AC voltage across the primary after the resistor over here says about, it's about somewhere around the 230 millivolt region, right? So while I'm not going to 100% rely on that, I'll say just kind of based on that, assuming it's not a perfect 1-1, when I reverse this and essentially use this side as the primary with a center tap, I would imagine that that might actually work out for me, because I might not want a 1-1 if the plan is to feed roughly 24 volts in and get about 18 volts out, right? So that actually might work out. Now I just have to make sure what the phasing is like here. All right, so I can see here with my probes like that, now it's out of phase. I'm assuming those are the same winding ratios, and it's just a very, very slight, low millivolt probe difference there. So basically I can see how to wire this up if I want to use this side over here as the primary center tap, primary with a center tap, and just use this as the secondary side. All right, so basically, which kind of sucks because I have to jump over. They're not right next to each other, but I can see that this is how they're out of phase. So I guess you look at it like, well, in reality, the windings are all in phase, right? But reference from the center tap, they're going to be out of phase relative to each other, which would be this point here where these grounds come together, or these, it doesn't really matter. But with the other one, I just kind of had to jump them right there in the middle. So I guess what I'm saying is, in terms of like common emitter push-pull here, if you're trying to source a little GDT, again, I will go with one maybe a little bit larger than this. Phasing of these secondaries are over here. I would prefer to get it like this, right? That way I could tie this center point together and it becomes exactly what I want, a center tap, with everything still in phase, obviously, except relative from the center point. And also, ideally, I probably wouldn't want a 1-1-1. I haven't found one yet, but I would probably want one that's got a ratio so that when I flip it around and I use this as the center tap primary side, I'm actually getting a little bit less voltage out on this side. I only say that because I guess the general concept with something like this, if I was to put it together, I would assume about 24 volts in and approximately 18 or so volts out, right? I don't know. You might want 24 or close to it as you can get, right? So maybe go 1-1-1 and shoot for no losses at all, right? But evidently the transformer that I pulled has these 2 dots right here, right? So right now I'm trying to find some decent little SMD MOSFETs I could salvage. I don't think I've really got any like something like these guys, but these are only 30 volts. Came across this little IC. I guess this is an example of like, just a flyback topology, right? You know, so this little guy right here has got a high voltage switch in it. That's another option, I guess, but I'd rather do this push-pull. It just seems easy enough, right? Especially with some other IC like the TL494. All right, well, I can't source any damn MOSFETs right now, so right now I'm just going to use these guys. All right, so I got this one wired up pretty much exactly the same. Well, not exactly the same. So here's the first one I made, little mock-up using this little GDT. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing here, power it up, except I'm going to run it from 24 volts. I've already scoped it to make sure that it can run to 24 volts, right? And I actually got about 18 volts out, but I haven't load tested it yet. With just VN, I'm going to power it up. You can see it's pulling, a little bit over a watt. 50 milliamps is not too bad at 24 volts. So I get a little bit. About 18.2. Let me check this meter actually. All right, so I'm getting 18.25 and it says 18.2, so close enough, right? All right, so I'm gonna run this guy, still 24, so I've jumped up to about 4 watts now. 16. So I think at about 16 and a half, 16.7, that's pulling about 2.5 watts. So, yeah, it ain't too great. So let me take that one off, and put this bigger fan load on right here. That's actually going to pull quite a bit. So that's what I'm going to run, and then I'll double check to see what that's actually pulling. All right, so I'm just going to start it up from dead stop again. So we're at 24 volts in. See what that gets to. So it loads down quite a bit, pulling 5 3/4 watts. It only pulls about 13. Only pushes about 13 volts in there. The 24 volts in, I don't think I can actually bring it as high. I think it doesn't even want to barely hit 12. So something's bottlenecking over here. I'm not quite sure what it is. Well, no, okay, that just barely gets up to about the same. So I was wrong. It does drive it a little better, but it starts walking here. It's going to start going down. See, it's starting to go down now. All right, so I have to assume that this is that. It's either those windings. I can't tell. Because nothing else is really running away here as far as I can tell. It's not the diodes, it's none of these resistors, right? So I think it just happens to be this core right here gets too warm, let's just say, and I would imagine this has got way less windings on it. I feel like I have to give it a minute to let it cool down, and then it'll go back up. All right, so I've given it a little minute to cool down. So run it up again. So it should hit about 14. Yeah, so it kind of heads up that way, no problem. And you see it does not take long for it to start warming up. You can hear that fan speed just dropping. Just dropping. All right. All the way down to 4 watts. And it just keeps going down. So if I stop it, again, seeing that type of behavior really gives me the impression something is overheating here. But I can't tell. I mean, I can't tell by feeling on that core there. Everything still feels pretty dang cold. So yeah, I don't know. It's just interesting because while this looks like a bigger transformer than that one down there, that one's actually way bigger than the little tiny toroid that's inside the shield right here, right? But this guy can run this load over here no problem. I mean, it'll run that fan at about 14 or higher from my input voltage. It's only like 18, but it seems like it can run it indefinitely and nothing starts to get hot or run away or anything. Alright, so I can now factually say that with this pulse transformer I was trying, evidently I was hitting my limit. With this load, I could run this fan load. I think before it wasn't quite giving me as high of an output voltage, but there you go. That's about close to 18 volts loaded, and that's probably close to 3 watts right there that thing's pulling at that voltage. So yeah, this should actually satisfy my gate drive requirement, I would imagine, right? And this guy could almost do it too. Like I said, I just need to tweak this a little more because I can't put 24 volts into this one safely. And I could easily put the 24 into this one, and I'm still just using the BD139s, right? I get about 19.2 out now, that 24 volt in. And again, that's not all losses because the ratio in this orientation is just slightly stepped down, right? That's pretty cool. So really the whole idea, right, is like I just kind of wanted to work out some simple isolated supply. I didn't want to use flyback topology, some type of simple push-pull like this. Just pick cheap parts. I'm not trying to make it crazy. I might just use some 540s, right? And just replace the BJT switches and just maybe get it a little bit better, right? But other than that, yeah, that's about it. Not much to it. Pretty much the same gist. I had a little bit more trouble with this one than I did with this one, though. I had to change some values around, and I even noticed that when I first started it up, sometimes it would just go into lockup until I removed the VN to the CT, and I would add that after the oscillator was going, and it would kind of run, right? But eventually I realized so long as I feed it my 24 with some tweaks on the resistors there, then it would start up no problem every time, right? So it's kind of funny. Like I could sit here and run with this one. I could run that load pretty much all day, damn near the same output power, right? It's not quite as high, but this one, it just can't do it, right? So I guess it's not good to just use random ones you find in the wild, but you can make it work, I guess.